Today marks the fourth anniversary of the expiration of the 45 days caveat within which Buhari-led government has been ordered to release our leader Sheikh Ibrahim El-Zakzaky. In a historic judgment delivered by Justice Gabriel Kolale of the Abuja Division of the Federal High Court on the enforcement of his fundamental rights and that of his wife, Malama Zina Ibrahim. Failure to obey the judgment by President Buhari for 4 years on and counting makes it one of the worst violations of the rule of law and monumental abuse of rights of the couple. The land juries had ruled that the continued detention of the duo violates their rights under Section 35, subsection 1 of the Nigerian Constitution and the provisions of the African Charter on human and people's rights. Consequently, he ordered the release of the alien Sheikh and his wife within 45 days of the judgment, and that both be provided with a suitable accommodation and security. The court further ordered the payment of 50 million naira by the federal government to both of them. Delivering the judgment, the presiding judge, Justice Gabriel Kolale, held that continued detention of El-Zakzaky and his wife by state instrumentality was an arbitrary act. He averred that no extant law within the country's statutory legal frameworks and external ones subscribed to by the state had allowed anybody to be held against his or her wishes. He further said that the defense of the respondent was not tenable in law, adding that the state had not justified why the applicant and his wife were held under protective custody as it claimed then. The judge had warned the government in that judgment that holding Sheikh Zakzaky for so long amount to great danger, insisting that if the applicant dies in custody, and which I do not favorite, it could result in many needless deaths. This quotation is in this word: if the applicant dies in custody, which I do not pray for, it could result in many needless deaths, is in bracket, is battle command. That is his quotation. However, Buhari has stubbornly kept deaf ears to that and contemptuously continued to detain them. Instead of releasing them, Buhari opted to file bogus charges against the Sheikh and his wife through Kaduna State government. Failure to obey court orders by the government is an open invitation to anarchy, as observed by a professor of law. And this is at variance with the democratic principles it claims to be running. Before arriving at any decision to release any individual or grant him bail, the courts must have first reviewed the facts presented by all parties and listened to argument both from the government and such citizens. It is therefore totally unacceptable for government to choose the judgment it would follow and those that it will ignore. It is therefore to the glory of Allah that 4 years into the judgment by the court that Sheikh Ibrahim and his wife be set free, we have never chickened out or relented in demanding for his unconditional release. Many international bodies, including Amnesty International and European Union, have all urged the Nigerian government to demonstrate respect for the rule of law and release the cleric and his wife. We will continue to do so irrespective of the government's use of brutal force against us. We will leave no stone unturned in demanding for his unconditional freedom, using all legitimate means at our disposal. We therefore, once again, unequivocally call for his unconditional release, his wife, and all others still in detention since the Zaria massacre by the Nigerian Army in December 2015.